For 2 minutes.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, 2 weeks ago I visited the border and saw small children held in tiny cells and forced to sleep on cold concrete floors and benches. The treatment of these vulnerable kids, many of whom fled their homes to escape extreme violence, shocked me as a mother and as an American. Unfortunately, this bill contains only 11% of the resources the President requested for the Department of Health and Human Services. This paltry amount will only make conditions worse for these vulnerable children by limiting the department's bed space capacity and exacerbating delays in transferring children away from the overcrowded Border Patrol stations into the more suitable conditions of HHS. Unfortunately, insufficient funding isn't the only flaw in this bill. By treating all children the same, the majority means taking away protections and treating Central American children like Mexican and Canadian children who have limited protections under current law. This legislation sadly undercuts the current critical humanitarian and due process protections for these desperate children seeking safe haven from the horrors of violence in their country. Without due process, many of these children who would qualify for protection under our laws will be returned straight into the arms of their traffickers or their impoverished, violent neighborhoods. That is why national anti-trafficking organizations like the Alliance to End Slavery and Trafficking strongly oppose this bill. Mr. Speaker, the Republican supplemental is an irresponsible and inadequate bill that does little to protect our borders or address the humanitarian crises facing our nation. The bill is a senseless and deeply flawed political ploy that my Republican colleagues know will be rejected by the Senate. Instead of playing political games, let us act in the best interests of our country and these kids by passing a bill that upholds our American values, honors our heritage as a nation of immigrants, protects our borders, and fully addresses the causes and consequences of the humanitarian crises on our border. I yield back.
The gentlewoman's time has expired. The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
Madam Speaker, I yield 2